Welcome back to Grumpy Vet Garage. Earlier this year, I took a trip with the guys from Two Brothers Performance down to FuelTech in Georgia. The focus of that trip was to dyno tune Nathan's CRX that's running on FuelTech. I'll leave a link to that video if you want to check it out in the video description. The staff at FuelTech was very gracious and offered to give us a tour of their facility. I saw many things that I was expecting, including engine swaps and all-out performance builds that would require standalone engine management, which is what FuelTech specializes in. Examples of this was the FuelTech Mark IV Supra, which is a 3.4 liter billet block 2JZ, making over 1,000 horsepower, and then also a customer's 240SX drift car that has a VH series Nissan V8 swap. These builds were great, but not really surprising considering the known capabilities of the FuelTech ECUs. What I also saw was projects doing things that I had heard of, but not actually seen with my own eyes. These projects had transmission swaps that previously had been viewed as virtually impossible, or at least very difficult to control. The FuelTech COO, Luis De Leon, was working on his very own BMW E38 with a factory V12, and he was installing a remote mount turbo setup. That would be cool by itself, but it also had a ZF8HP70 swap, and all of this was going to be controlled with a FuelTech ECU. Going back to the 1,000 horsepower Mark IV Supra, it also had a transmission swap, and it was running a GM 10L90. All of this was being controlled with FuelTech ECUs. What I didn't expect to see on the tour was full electric vehicle builds. In the shop was a Jeep Gladiator hybrid electric concept vehicle that was unveiled at the 2024 SEMA show by Stryton Energy. It was a huge collaboration with the hybrid system being built by Bruiser Conversions out of Florida. They were utilizing a 5.9 liter common rail Cummins diesel along with 2 electric motors, Stryton Energy's lithium batteries, and then all of this was controlled by 2 FuelTech FT550 ECUs. The FuelTech ECUs controlled the electric motor output, they controlled inverters, they also controlled the charger that was the diesel engine charging up the battery pack, and also a DC to DC inverter, which I believe was doing a conversion of 12 volts to 48 volts and back and forth as required to run the vehicle. The Cummins diesel engine in this setup was only used as a generator, and it has the capability of charging the 1,000 kilowatt hour battery pack in under 14 minutes. All propulsion of the vehicle is driven by the electric motors, which output about 550 horsepower and 2,000 foot-pounds of torque. I think the most impressive stat about this vehicle is that it weighs 12,000 pounds, has a 100-gallon diesel fuel tank, but has a range of 7,000 miles. That's roughly the distance between Key West and Seattle and back. Additionally, the vehicle has the ability to be used as a mobile generator in, say, a grid down scenario. The power that's in the battery pack by itself is enough to power an average home 2 to 3 days, and then the diesel engine generator capability multiplies that ability. This use of the vehicle as a power source for a home is also controlled by the FuelTech ECUs. A second electric project I saw was an EV converted 1992 box body Mustang. It's a full electric build, but it still utilizes the factory 5-speed manual transmission. Luis said with the project, they wanted to show the capability of what you could build with completely off-the-shelf EV components. The Mustang uses off-the-shelf Axion electric motors, inverters, and a battery pack that is all controlled by FuelTech's FT700 Plus. The way the vehicle's set up, you don't need to use the clutch to get the vehicle moving. You can just leave it in gear and it can pull away using the electric motor, but you have the ability to shift gears, and in that case you would need to use the clutch. The ECU can be configured with the appropriate sensors to do like a no-lift shift and save the clutch from slippage. The setup is currently detuned to save the factory level clutch, but if they had a clutch that could hold it, the system is able to put down about 700 foot-pounds of torque. The battery placement was pushed a little bit further back to give the vehicle almost a 50-50 weight distribution, but also removing the engine and installing two electric motors actually saved the overall vehicle weight 50 pounds. I must admit, I'm not all that excited about electric powered vehicles, but I get it. FuelTech is using these vehicles to display capabilities. They've been able to demonstrate that if there is a system that needs to be controlled, whether it's an engine, a transmission, or discharge or recharge of an electrical system, the FuelTech ECUs can handle that. Luis also said that FuelTech was working on finalizing direct injection control and also diesel common rail injection control that would be utilized with their new Vision FT ECU. So basically the FT 700 and 700 plus. This very well could just be a firmware update, but there was also no timeline on when this development may be completed. These projects all really show the immense capability of the FuelTech ECUs and that really anything is possible. Further conversation with Luis about power adders highlighted that FuelTech is really interested in the OEM development of electric superchargers and electric turbochargers. He was interested that as they develop, what point do they actually make their way into the performance aftermarket? And just to be clear, I'm not talking about your Temu, Alibaba toy superchargers. There are current OEM auto manufacturers that are utilizing electric superchargers and electric turbochargers, commonly referred to as electrically assisted turbochargers or e-turbos. I think electric superchargers are pretty self-explanatory, but electrically assisted turbochargers or EATs are something different and are pretty cool. It uses an electric motor to assist a gas-driven turbocharger that has insufficient exhaust flow to make boost. This eliminates our traditional turbo lag situation. For those familiar with Formula One, this is the style turbocharger that F1 teams have been using since 2014. It's commonly referred to as the MGUH or Motor Generation Unit Heat. OEM use of e-turbos is growing and have become more prevalent since 2017. OEM manufacturers like Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Volvo, and Porsche have all used e-turbos in road cars. The leaders in e-turbo development are familiar names in Borg-Warner and Garrett. Both of these companies' e-turbos work similarly. They both allow manufacturers to fit turbos to applications that traditionally would be way too large to use, and then they're able to eliminate the turbo lag problem by electrically assisting the spool of the turbo. This is great for performance, but e-turbos actually help the engine to also be efficient, and it does this in two ways. First, it widens the power band of the engine by allowing the turbo to come on boost at a lower RPM, giving a wider power delivery and preventing what typically would have resulted in a downshift. This benefit is termed by Borg-Warner and Garrett as downspeeding, allowing the engine to stay in a higher gear and be able to pull through without having to downshift. This downspeeding can be more difficult or a little more stressful on an engine, but it allows the power band of the engine to be more widely available. The second feature is something that I wasn't expecting. Kind of breaking it down here. Turbo boost and turbine speed are controlled utilizing a wastegate. These wastegates can be pneumatically controlled like it is on my 2G DSM, but the industry, especially OEM, is going more to electronically actuated wastegates because they provide more precise and sometimes improved performance of boost control. In general, wastegates allow exhaust gas to bypass the turbine of the turbo to control the speed and boost of the turbo. This bypassed gas is wasted energy. I'm probably going to oversimplify this, but the electric motor that spins to assist with spool up also acts as an electrical generator and can slow down the actual turbine shaft speed of the turbo. allowing that wasted exhaust gas to be harnessed while still controlling boost and the speed of the turbine. This action recovers wasted energy and is then used to recharge the electrical system to be used later to assist with spool up. This system makes e-turbos both powerful and efficient. On this channel, we've been working to upgrade my A90 Supra, and in researching this video and looking at e-turbos, I thought it was interesting that on the Garrett website, they show an e-turbo configuration that suspiciously looks just like a turbo that would bolt on to a BMW B58. The performance opportunity of running a large turbo with little to no perceived turbo lag sounds amazing. A unit like the FuelTech FT700 Plus being able to control engine management, also hopefully soon being able to control direct injection, common rail diesel injection, but also being able to control complicated performance automatic transmissions, control electrical discharge for electric motors, recharging and recovery of electrical systems, maybe eventually those same types of controls, maybe controlling e-turbos, is very exciting to me. The future of aftermarket performance, in my opinion, is still very bright and exciting, and companies like FuelTech are really pushing this development, and I can't wait to see where it goes. What do you think about the future of aftermarket performance? Leave a comment. Do you think that aftermarket performance is going to be dominated by EVs, or do you think hybrid performance is going to be the next step? If you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to Grumpy Vet Garage, liking this video, sharing this video. To support the channel, we have a Grumpy Vet Garage merch store. Link to the store is in the video description. Additionally, we have affiliate marketing links in the video description. Using those links to make any purchase directly supports the channel. If you want to contact me, you can do that through the comment section of this video or through our Facebook or Instagram page. Link to them are in the video description. But as always, thanks for coming and seeing me in my garage. And until next time, have a good one.